We can imagine how, as Jesus would have said these words, how his disciples would have been shocked. I know we've all heard this passage on the Beatitudes, probably over 100 times. But we can't allow this not to penetrate our hearts, to not surprise us, to shock us in some way, because what he's saying is, those are strong words. He's saying that for the Christian, to be a true Christian, it's not enough to want the good, to do the good, but to suffer the evil as well. A lot of these might fit into human categories that might make sense on a logical level, like blessed are the clean of heart, blessed are the peacemakers, blessed are the meek. Those make sense. What about blessed are the poor in spirit, blessed are those who mourn? Blessed are you when they insult you and persecute you. Blessed are you who are persecuted for the sake of righteousness. Those don't make sense. He says, blessed are you when they utter every kind of evil against you falsely. How willing are we to suffer unjustly when it doesn't make sense? When we're innocent, when someone says something, an unkind word, or we hear that someone's talking about us behind our back, how do we respond to those things? Well, Jesus is saying, rejoice and be glad. That's a whole nother level of faith. To rejoice in what we have to suffer. I've said it before, but I will never tire of saying it. I don't know of anyone who I consider holy and perfect in virtue or well on their way, who has not suffered immensely. God allows sufferings in this life for our purification, for our perfection, because when we don't suffer, what do we tend to do? We forget about God. We stop depending on God. And so these things, many times God allows things in our life so that we shift our gaze again and focus it on Jesus. When so many times we get distracted by the pleasures or the material things of this world. So as we reflect on this gospel today, I invite you to ask yourselves, how willing am I to suffer unjustly? How willing am I to allow myself to be shaped by the crosses of life when it doesn't make sense, when it doesn't fit into my limited human mind? Because if we live these Beatitudes, if we truly live them, we're living the life of Jesus on earth. Amen.